this Lotus is 60 years ago. I can remember it just like yesterday. 60 years here and 75 years over here. I mean, that's just as good as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. It just it's so much fun. I can remember how much fun it was pitting this car in 1965, and I remember when we won the race at Bill France Sr. We're talking about the IndyCar going paint scheme going to Darlington. You know, Bill France Sr. clapping his hands, says, "That's my boys." So he was pulling for us as well at Indy. So
this car is one of the most important in the evolution of the sport. Did you realize how important it was at the time?
I didn't realize it at the time, but I know Dan Gurney, you know, he won like 4 times at Riverside for us, and the conversation would come up of him running with Clark. He thought Clark was better than he was, and I said, "There's no way Clark could be better than you." And he said, "Well," says, "if you go into the turn, headed towards the turn, and brake as hard as you can, and barely make the turn," says, "if you don't do that every lap, Clark will beat you." So, and then he learned that Clark said the same thing about Dan.
You played a little role in the innovation on this too. What did you build on here?
Well, one of the drivers was pointing out he was spilling fuel out the little breather cap where you got to open to fuel the car for the vent. It wasn't time to re-engineer the thing, so I just quickly welded a knot on the little cap and then put a spring to roll it over the knot to hold it, and then when you come in to open it, you just roll the spring off to open it and roll it back on, which is pretty quick, and only stopped twice, and that's probably the least amount of time that anybody's ever spent in the pits for the 500. It wasn't about 40 seconds total.
People are still talking about this Lotus, but people are still talking about Jim Clark. Why was he so special?
He didn't come across as I'm a big hero or whatever, but you could just tell he had self-confidence, that he knew he was good, but he didn't come across as bragging about it or whatever, you know. How quick he was to stop on the point, and as I released my probe on the fuel tank, I leaped back as hard as I could, and as I was leaping back in front, the car left the pits. Yeah, he didn't miss me before.